People travel to Africa as a continent, right? And they experience the different cultures in Africa, and then later they come back to their continent and they share with everyone. They share videos of how they experience cultural shock. And in fact, they are overwhelmed at how different the culture in Africa is totally different, right? And maybe because they genuinely are, but some people just think that their way of life should be the standard for every other continent around the world, which can never be. But anyway, since it's okay for you guys to share your astonishment and the differences that took you to shock about the different ways of life of the different countries in Africa, it should be okay for us as well to share that. So here are some of the things that really astonished and shocked me the first time I traveled to USA. And one of them are the retirement homes. Back home, our old people grow old and take their last breath in their homestead, and either their children or their grandchildren take care of them until the very last end. Another thing that really shocked me is anxiety, depression. I didn't know this stuff existed. I'll be honest with you guys, in that you could spend so much money going to the hospital to be diagnosed and then hiring a therapist to go through the whole process of healing. And I think the reason why we don't go through the same intense depression and anxiety that people in USA go through or other places outside of Africa is because we are a community-based society. So you're gonna go through a rough time. Let's say you've lost a loved one. And of course that sends you into places you've never been emotionally. You're gonna have people around you. People are gonna come on with you, cook for you, like talk to you until like you're in a place where you can stand strong and move on with life. Another thing that shocked me is when I went to the USA, I was expecting to see so many, different churches. I didn't think finding a church would be a problem, because back home, every corner there is a church. I'm a born-again Christian, and in Uganda, there are so many churches, and I guess that's why maybe we don't go through so much stuff like anxiety and depression, because a church is one community that you're gonna make so many good friends, and you're gonna build a really rapport with people that will be there for you in good and tough times. So finding a church was very hard. Like, I would search on Google Map, and the church that was closest to me is like 45 minutes away by train. I'm like, wow, this is astonishing. Looking at the fact that missionaries and stuff. But anyways, another thing is how so many people are struggling with academic debt in the USA. I had a friend who told me that her mom, who is 58 years old, is still paying academic debt. And this is not to blame even on the parents or what, but the systems are different. In Uganda, our parents are gonna travel mountains and seas and rivers and swim through the oceans to just make sure they secure tuition for their children. The guardians are gonna make sure they pay for your tuition so that you don't have to finish university and have a huge academic debt. I remember when I was going to school in my high school, the school I was going to was quite expensive, and my parents had to sell off land to make sure they take me to school. Maybe that's why after school, most of us are really like, what can I do to give back to my parents? What can I do to take care at least of my siblings and help them out? But it's just so refreshing to finish school and you don't have a huge academic debt that is waiting for you to pay. So that really shocked me about USA.